A beautiful morning it is. How are you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in on this lovely Friday morning. It is Lifestyle Friday, as always, and so glad to have you on board. You know, one of the things that we have been talking about a lot in many circles during this season is new normal. New normal. Everybody is getting into a new normal, and we are learning how to do things differently as opposed to how we were doing them and the way in which we were used to doing them. And now we are in a season where even when matters church, we are having to come up with a new normal. Matters education, we are having to come up with a new normal and thinking of a new way of doing things. And so on Lifestyle Friday, we'll focus now a bit on education and figure out what is the new normal, what is all this e-learning business about? Is it here to stay? Is it just for the season? You know, how can we exploit and how can we maximize on it? And do we have enough e-learning platforms that are available and resources to go in that direction? So that's the conversation we'll be having today. I'm going to be introducing to us two young people who will be giving us insight into this whole discussion. So inviting you to be a part of this. If you have questions, feel free to ask them on 20316, WhatsApp 0786 316 316. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Lifestyle Friday on Jam 316. Indeed, we are blessed to be on air and we are blessed to have you on board. So e-learning is what we are going to be looking at today, and I have amazing young people in the studio with me today via Zoom, and we will be having a discussion about this. I have Grace Madheka, who is a marketer. Grace, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Mimi niko mzima kabisa. Good to have you on board. And then we have Roy Sam Were, who's a software developer. Roy Sam, karibu sana. How are you?
Asante sana.
You well?
I'm well. What about you?
Mimi niko mzima na huko kwenye nasikia echo. Kuna mtu anasikiza conversation yetu na sauti yake iko juu kidogo.
Oh, I'm doing well. So let me just try. I'm doing well.
Okay, so let's just begin by defining when we're talking about, because we're talking about e-learning. Both of you guys are from Nifunze Online Academy, which is all about e-learning. So when we talk about e-learning, what exactly are we talking about?
Yeah, when we're talking of e-learning, it's basically an electronic learning, or learning online, not physically learning in class. Mm-hmm. We're trying to capture what you've been doing in class actually online.
Okay.
That's what basically mean by e-learning.
Mm-hmm. I would
something
say
you're supposed to get.
Something you're supposed to get online.
Sorry?
Yes.
Something you're supposed to get in class, but you're not able to get in class right now. You're just getting it. You're getting actually on air, actually, or online.
Okay. Before. Let me not say before. The coronavirus has made us aware of e-learning because our schooling system was pushed in that corner. And we had to come up with stuff, and so we're still trying to find our way, groping in the dark in some places and all that. So was e-learning still a big thing before this corona pandemic?
Yeah, e-learning wasn't such a big thing. Mm-hmm. Wasn't such a big thing in Kenya. Mm. However, e-learning has been there since days. It has been there for quite some time. It's only that right now that Kenya, we've woken up and we've seen that there's something like e-learning right now going on.
And then on the onset of COVID, the way people are used to this rigid system of education, now they're embracing e-learning as an alternative, because there's really no other alternative. It's either you're in class or you're not.
Yeah.
But now there's an option of, you can learn when you're not physically in class. Mm-hmm. Which is a blessing in this case, because now more people have embraced e-learning because now they have no other alternative. So using this one as an alternative is opening up eyes now. People are more embracing that.
Okay. When the world was going the e-learning way and people were beginning to develop content and put it online, some of us used to look at e-learning ni kama kusomea kwa dirisha. Mawai kuambia ulisomea kwa dirisha. It's like you're not in class, so people are not really taking it seriously. Do you still find that is the case in some areas, or have people opened up and are people more accepting of doing a whole course online and actually getting certification for it that people recognize?
Yeah, actually online, personally I've done a lot of online courses. I've got a lot of certificates. I understand what e-learning is. However, in Kenya, we are trying to cope up with the situation that we have right now. Most of the parents are not comfortable. Most of the parents are finding challenges using e-learning actually. Most of the people are finding challenges using e-learning. It has been something that actually it has come out of nowhere to some of the guys, some of the people. But in as much as we are concerned, people are adopting e-learning in Kenya. And I think I see is the next big thing in Kenya. Parents are going to adapt, people are going to adopt e-learning, and it's going to be something big.
Okay.
E-learning is going to be something big, definitely.
Okay. Do you foresee?
Yeah.
I seem to be losing you. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I seem to be losing you. Una katika.
Can you hear me?
You're breaking. Yeah. Now part but you're breaking. Okay, I'm asking, do you foresee going ahead even past COVID, do you foresee the e-learning thing being something that the education system will embrace fully?
When you're talking about learning, what do we mean? We mean just adopting an idea and retaining it in our minds. So it doesn't really matter if you're learning from class or not. What we need now to do is just to make sure that e-learning is still relevant even after post-COVID. And I think by the Ministry of Education, if it adopts this issue, it will go a long way in developing technology in our country. Because the rest of the world, the developed world, most of the education system, they use technology. So if we can use this one as an eye-opener and adopt it, that would go a very, very long way in, educating our children. So yes, I foresee a more vast adoption of e-learning in the future.
Because if I may add on that.
Yeah.
If I may add, can you hear me?
Yeah, keep talking. We are listening.
Yeah, if I may add on that, because what I foresee personally, because we are foreseeing something like a government accepting e-learning schools, as in is an e-learning school where actually kids are not going to school physical. There's no physical school. People are doing homeschooling. So we foresee we are going to have a lot of homeschooling right now, and homeschooling we can have this e-learning platform to teach those kids at home.
Are we ready for that? Because I remember even when the whole concept of homeschooling began gaining a bit of popularity here in Kenya, there was a lot of resistance. People were still thinking, the children have to put their books in the bag, go to school, sit in a classroom at a desk, mwalimu akuje awafundishe. So are we at a place really where the government and even the population at large will embrace a fully online primary school, secondary school? Do you think we are there yet?
We are not there yet.
Yeah.
We are not there yet, but we are coming there. We are used to, unajua vile umesema, take your bag, go to school.
Yes.
I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, I take my bag, and then I run to school.
Yes, that one.
We are used to that.
Yeah.
We are used to that. Now, getting our mind out of that is going to be something hectic. It's going to be hell. So, what we do, there's some people who've accepted it. A few, like let's say like 0.005% of Kenyans have accepted e-learning.
Yeah.
But other people, they still have that mentality of we have to step in a classroom to get knowledge. You have to get a teacher. A teacher must stand. A teacher must stand in front of you so that you can get education.
I remember.
But e-learning. Yeah.
I remember a couple of years ago. Yeah. Keep going.
E-learning entails discipline. Without discipline, you cannot get anything from e-learning. It entails 100% discipline. If a kid is not disciplined enough, I'm afraid he's not going to catch any concept on e-learning because it entails discipline. Yes. So
would you say then that there are those children who are you have kids who are self-starters. They don't need supervision. They don't need their parents chasing them around to do their homework and to study. They just know this is what I need to do and they do it. But then there are those you have to keep reminding. So then are you saying there are those kids who can actually thrive with e-learning, but others will need a lot of supervision?
Exactly. Others will need a lot of supervision because actually they started it going to school. They want a teacher there to supervise them so they can learn.
And then it will take equal measure of input also from the parent, because these children, they're learning from home. They'll need a degree of supervision to work, to learn online. So if they can get support from their parents and maybe their teachers online, then it can work. It can really work. But considering that not all households are able to accommodate this, we still have a long way to go.
Okay. Are there people pushing for this at this time? Because it's something we have been forced into, and it's something we have actually realized. By the way, this is another option we never really thought of. So are there people who are actually pushing for us to have, even if it's both options, for those who still want to take their kids to conventional school the way we know it, they can still go on with that post-COVID, while those who have really embraced this online thing, it is available for them. Is that something that is being pushed currently? Would you know? Okay, I'm asking this. Listen again. Are there people who are pushing for this online e-education to be taken seriously, so that post-COVID we have both options? For those who still want to take their children to the kawaida school, they can do that. And for those who have embraced this and they're thinking this is the way to go, then there are available platforms or online schools that they can actually enroll their children in.
Yeah, I think there are people who are ready, but as I said, not even 1% of Kenyans are ready to do that. There are few who are ready to do that. And there are few who have embraced and they are ready when, after post-COVID, they are ready to take their schools to an online school. I don't think there's an online school in Kenya that's registered, not yet. However, there's somebody maybe somebody might run and register this idea for an online school to be there. But let me assure you, it's going to be there. People are going to embrace e-learning. People are going to adopt e-learning. And that's the way, e-learning is the way to go in Kenya right now.
I also feel that most people haven't adopted this technology because they don't have enough information about it.
Okay.
So what we've been doing lately is going around educating people about e-learning, showing them that it's possible. And if they have enough knowledge, they're just ignorant. They don't think it can work. But if they have the right information and they see it actually happening, then most probably they will adopt it because it's really workable.
Okay, we'll talk a bit about that because I was having a conversation the other day and I was saying, even with our children, when we think about the screen, the computer, the TV, the lab, the tablet, these have been instruments for entertainment, not education. These have been gadgets they used to play their games or to watch a movie. And so we'll talk about how do we begin to change that mindset, because even for us as parents, we kind of have that mindset. So we'll talk about that in a bit. You're watching Lifestyle Friday on Family TV and listening to us on Family Radio. We are talking about e-learning. Lifestyle Friday on Jam 316. Reminder, Eden Tea truly is the finest garden tea. Eden Tea is reminding us in this season, together we can stop the spread of the coronavirus. And how do we do that? By going back to the basics. Watu wanawe mikono, wash your hands with soap and running water. It's very, very important. This will help even with other infections. Watu lazima wakuwe wasafi. Number 2, face mask. Not for your forehead or to cover your beard. It is for your nose and mouth, and use a clean one. Tafadhali tutumie face mask clean. Don't put on something that looks like it has come from a dump site somewhere. No, I mean, you're putting it next to your mouth and your nose. You're breathing in air through that thing. It needs to be clean. So ensure you have a face mask, especially when you're out there interacting with other people. Also, ensure you maintain interpersonal distance, 1.5 to 2 meters as you interact with other people. Don't touch your nose, your mouth, your eyes. And then some of us who are serial nail biters. I can't believe for the last 5 months I've not been biting my nails. It is a new me. Now I'm even thinking I'll go for a manicure. Also, what you need to remember, most important, if you can work from home, work from home. And the thing about working from home is that Weka ka ofisi karibu na kitchen, because at home anytime is tea time with Eden Tea, the finest garden tea. This morning we are talking about e-learning. I have two amazing young people joining us in the studio via Zoom, and they are giving us some very important information. I have Roizam Were, who is a software developer, and Grace Madeka, who is a marketer. Now, earlier on I was talking about the gadgets. The gadgets have been known for entertainment, and so how do we convert our thinking to also realize these same gadgets can also be used for education?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you get me? Are you getting me? Hello. You see,
Hello, I can get you.
You can get
Hello,
me.
can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Did you get the question?
Come up again, please.
I was saying the screens, for most of us, the screens have been a source of entertainment, whether we are talking about the laptop or the tablets or the TV screens. Many of us look at these things as avenues where we get entertainment. But now, Kibarua need to convert us to begin to also realize that they can actually be used for education as well. A lot of parents in this season have been having to leave their mobile phones at home so that their children can do school. So it's a new way of thinking. How do we change this thinking?
So what you do, I think we need to adapt as the e-learning or the e-learning content providers.
Yeah.
What we need to do, we need to change actually those gadgets to be an edutainment gadget. You know, there's entertainment and edutainment. Let's bring edutainment into education.
Uh-huh.
Let's have something that can educate them, at the same time it's entertaining them.
Yes.
More so for kids, they basically know that things for playing games, that things for watching cartoons, that things for watching movies, that things for watching everything. So what we need to do, the e-learning platform has to come up with viable solutions, like something that it's entertaining them, at the same time it's giving them education.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the kids don't have to stop watching the cartoons and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It's their age. That's what they do at that age.
Yeah.
So what the parent can do is just remind them that they still have to learn. And that's why most the online platforms have brought creative ways of educating these children,
Mm-hmm.
so that it's not all boring. So that when they have the tablets, they think about the cartoon and they also think about their lessons, because the lessons are not so different from what they watch already.
Okay.
But also, it also depends on the age group. For the small kids, if the parent sets a timetable and this time is for cartoon, but this time is also for learning, the kids will adapt to that program.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about adaptation and planning.
Okay. What about the social
Yes.
aspect? Because that's one of the other things I've been hearing a number of parents talking about. Because now when it's e-learning, my child is alone in the house, in front of a computer for this many hours. There's no social interaction, because when they're sitting in a normal classroom with a physical classroom, so to speak, you have your friends there, you have that social interaction, you can spar one another, you know. So how do we deal with that? Because now that with e-learning, that is not there.
You see, the only thing we cannot be able to change is the social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
That has been the giant actually to beat here.
Yeah.
The social interaction we cannot change. However, like a developer personally,
Yeah.
what I can come up with is something when it's time for education, you have a software that actually limits you to that particular thing you're supposed to watch. You have a software that actually times your phone. When it's time for education, actually it will be able to remind you that it's time for education.
Mm-hmm.
You are supposed to learn from this particular time up to this particular time. That's on the social part, the social network. It will be able to bar all the social network, can be able to stop all the social network. So it's good to actually try. The same, what I said is discipline actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because even the software, you can beat around the software and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
People are smart, kids are smart.
Very smart.
You cannot be that. That's something, there's a big challenge right now.
Okay.
Even if you come up with the best softwares to do that, the best software time you online, they'll always go behind that software and do what they want.
Okay.
Can't control it.
I'm
Internet has got everything that will be able to do away with what somebody has made.
Yes. I'm kind of feeling like what we have experienced because of this COVID-19 pandemic, it was more like a a first aid kind of measure, where it was sudden and we had to figure out how do we continue educating our children. A lot of people jumped onto Zoom, and so, the kids joined the Zoom platform, you do a class, but I feel like that was more impromptu. How can we explore?
Exactly.
How can we explore and actually develop this thing? For you as a software developer, what are the possibilities?
Yeah, what to do, because as a software developer, what I did, you understand your market first. You understand your people, what they do, what they want. You understand the behavior of, Kenyans will always understand what Kenyans want. Because I understand what Kenyans want, and we come up with something that they really, really want, and it will work perfectly for them. Because, we've adapted so many platforms. We've adapted so many platforms. Okay, what to do, we copy what they've done and improve them to be better. We as Kenyan developers, we need to copy what we've been brought, improve them better, and work much better around it so that it can suit the people, it can suit our Kenyan market.
And just to add on that, especially for the system we have right now, if it's trying to compete with the other platforms, what we have done is literally just customizing it to the Kenyan system. So our system has a point where the kids are able to interact with the teachers. They're even able to be given assignments. They're even able to ask questions. We make it to be user-friendly as possible, so that the kids are not limited to what they can do, what they would normally do in a normal classroom. That is what cuts an edge between these platforms. For us, we made it customized to fit the Kenyan system, the Kenyan syllabus, the CBC and whatnot. So you tell kids, for example, in the CBC, do this, paint, color, and then they send a picture to the system so that they feel like they're not missing something out, especially the practical.
Maybe I can rephrase the question a bit, because the way I'm looking at things, with what's happened with COVID, we had to do something. What was easily available for most people is the Zoom platform. Yeah, that's what a lot of us are using. And so what we basically we basically did is we took what we were doing, the format we were doing education in the classroom, the format in which we were running the school, is we took it the way it is and we put it on Zoom. Because I was looking at my kids and they're just following the timetable they had. This time to this time we're having math, this time to this time you're having English and all that. But I'm wondering, is there a better way? Because now this is a different platform. Is there a better way of doing education online? Because even in churches, that's the first thing we did. We took the Sunday service just the way it was and we threw it online. But in the process, we are realizing, okay, online is a different animal. People will watch it when they want to watch it. People will start commenting. Yes. So we've had to tweak our services. We can't do a 3-hour service online. We have to change a few things. So I'm wondering, even with education, do we just take what we had in class and do it live on all these platforms that are available? Or is there a better way of doing education online?
I think there's a better way of doing education online. Okay, what we have, those are the the closest available solution that we have. So what we need to do, we need to walk around those solutions that we have and find a better way of doing this e-learning online. Just copy what they have what we have seen. Copy, you talked about Zoom, you mentioned Zoom, you talked about it. Copy how Zoom works and see how you can bring it the online learning. Because you cannot be able to do exact thing you're doing in class online. Because you have to limit some of the things.
Yeah.
We definitely limit some of the activities that you've been doing. Because you can miss a class. Why don't you think of something like, if I missed a class, why don't I catch up this class later? Let me catch up this class at the time that I wanted. Even if at night, we have one gadget at home. A parent has got one phone. He's using that phone at home. He's using that phone at work. A kid needs to go to use Zoom. So think of a solution. Right now we've got schools that actually are closing today.
Yeah.
They didn't stop learning. They proceeded with learning. Others are at home. They're waking up wanaenda kuchunga ng'ombe, wanaenda kulisha ng'ombe, au wajui anything like nini. So ni kitu ngumu kidogo, but we need to catch up. We need to find out the solution. If it's e-learning, we need something that if I missed it, because definitely there's a kid will miss a lesson. If timetable I miss, kama mtoto wako kuna timetable I miss, pengine anaweza miss. Let me catch up this thing later. We walk around, we create solutions around what we have. Yeah, but I don't think I have not seen or I have not seen a better way of doing it better than catching up with what you had already taught online.
Okay.
Catching up with what the teacher taught. Maybe after saa 11 kama mzazi amerudi, mtoto aendelee kusoma.
Yeah.
No. So I know we can walk around that nini and come up with a better solution on e-learning.
Okay. So if you want if the two of you were to sit down with if you're given the opportunity to address school owners or the Ministry of Education, head teachers, what are some of the things you would tell them? Because like you said when we began this conversation, there's no turning back. E-learning, we will, whether we take slow steps or whether we take fast steps, we have to go in that direction. There's no other option. It's something we will have to eventually do. So if you are advising the Ministry of Education or principals of schools, what would you tell them to start thinking about and to setting up now? Because it seems like that's the direction we will go.
So right now what we've basically been doing, we've been going around schools, but then there's this big issue of acknowledging the fact that not all students have access to these gadgets in the first place.
Yeah.
So what we will tell the ministry and what most schools have been doing, they've been identifying these vulnerable children and providing them with these gadgets. Because you can't tell this child that online learning is an alternative when they don't even know how to use the gadgets, and they don't even know how to access the internet. So if you could address that, then if all factors are constant, e-learning would be a very viable alternative. But now, if we come now to reality, for example, in Kenya, identifying these children and coming up with programs that would help them to understand what technology is, because you're not training these children to just compete on the local level.
No.
These children, you want to export the knowledge, you want to export professionals. But if you don't address these issues, like the laptops that were to be provided to children, you don't know what happened to them. If those were if children had those laptops now, we wouldn't be talking as you're talking right now. Education would have continued, but the fact that it's not there, children are not learning.
Yeah.
And you see now, that's a very big issue. I would address that if I was to speak to the Ministry of Education.
Now, what the government need to do, first to embrace e-learning, get the laptops, get internet, gadgets and internet. That's the final, because it's an e-learning, nothing else. Gadget, either smartphone, phones, laptop, any gadget, TVs that you can do. So for you to have an e-learning, you need internet, you need gadgets. That's all.
And even beyond just the primary and high school level, and even the tertiary level, if we have employers that are willing to to employ these children that have acquired their skills online, how viable are the skills? If we can test these skills, it's a long process. First, we will have a test. We teach them online. Then we see how much, if we compare, if they're going to the physical classroom and the e-learning, if the skills are the same and the employer is willing, because that's a problem. Someone who will go with an online degree will have, less chances of getting employed than someone who actually went to school and earned the degree. So if we would get everyone to accept this thing, and if we could prove that it will actually work, then we'll go a long way, because that's what people in developed countries are doing. So we still have a very long way to go.
There's a thought here, and I'll ask a question in relation to this. This individual says, "Good morning, family media. I have realized every time you do a live Zoom program, you experience breakups. Can this affect e-learning, bearing in mind you have invested so much? And like many homes, how can we be more effective?" Yeah, that's the question. And I add another question on top of that. Does e-learning have to be live?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. For example, on our platform, what we do, we have organized live classes. In this context, we just explain to the parents beforehand that we'll have a live class starting at 8. But we also have pre-recorded lessons. The pre-recorded lessons are uploaded on our website on a daily basis. That's where the points comes in of if someone missed a lesson, they could access it again. So if the lessons were uploaded daily in every class, even if a child doesn't have the gadget, the parent went to the phone at work. If the parent comes back at 7, the child will be able to get into the system and access those classes. So it doesn't have to be live. There are also pre-recorded questions.
Okay.
And like, if I may add on that question, these are live stream. Live stream actually uses a lot of bundles.
Yes.
A lot of internet. So you need a very strong internet for a live stream, even on your phone. Something that's recorded and downloaded on your phone, it will take less bundles than your kid being online like for 45 minutes.
And you can work offline.
We can always go offline, can record the content, and then provide the contents later so that students can only come, download the content. They use actually a quarter of the bundles they could have used to stream that particular topic. You see?
Okay, yeah.
So it's a win-win situation.
And also children get to request whatever lessons they want, and then they are sent to them directly. That's how flexible this system is.
Yeah, via DVDs also you can send, you see. So it's a learning process. E-learning doesn't mean to be live.
And that's exactly.
It doesn't mean to be live. It's most of the e-learning projects are recorded. For live, we need live orientation. Just go live a little bit for orientation. Tell the kids, we are going to be live in the next 20 minutes. We are going to have a certain lesson in the next 20 minutes. Please be online. That's enough for live session. Then you give out the recorded version of what you've taught. That will be able to actually itarizisha kazi. The internet bundles will be down.
Yeah.
And we will not have a problem on e-learning.
And that's why I was asking earlier if there's a better way to do e-learning, because we have simply taken how we do it in classroom and taken it on whatever necessary platforms are available. So if in the classroom we would be having English between 8 and 8:40, then we've come online 8 to 8:40. We have English. You have to have a live teacher there. Sometimes they are doing it from home. There are so many variables there, and so that's why I was asking: is there a better way and a different way of doing the same thing? But now because we're using a different medium, we do it in a way that takes advantage and maximizes on the advantage of this medium that we are using. Okay, I'm inviting you to ask questions. We have about 20 more minutes. Don't give me 15 questions before 5 minutes before we finish. Throw in your questions now. Maybe as a parent, your children have been going through classes online. How has the experience been for you? What are some of the suggestions you have? Do you think e-learning is something we seriously need to explore? Talking about our schooling system. 20316 SMS line, WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. You're talking about e-learning on this Lifestyle Friday. In studio via Zoom, Roy Zamwere, who's a software developer, and Grace Madeka, who is a marketer, both of them talking to us about e-learning. There are quite a number of questions coming in. Somebody's asking, so since you also have pre-recorded classes, si watu wataanza kusambaziana from one school to another? It's the whole piracy issue. Yeah.
You do aim. What was Sambaziane?
Okay.
So we need to help each other right now. Right now, this time that somebody has to come up and help somebody. Wacha tusambaze. As long as the best content, wacha isambazwe.
Okay, so that you don't see that you don't see that as a problem. You see it as an advantage.
Yeah, no. As long as there's something that inasambazwa inaweza saidia mtu. Unless if you use a system like ours, if you use it, you cannot be able to download, you cannot be able to sambaza. You just get a subject kama ni Morse concept, unapata Morse concept iko hapo, hawezi sambaza. Unaona? But if mtu amerecord, ametaka kudonate, is well and good, donate to the public. Come record, donate to the public. Our platform is able to donate to the public. Come record, donate to the public. Everywhere to learn.
Okay.
If you can come do CDs tutazisambaza for the public. To those people who cannot do it.
Okay.
Yes, that's what we do. By the way, we are here to help.
Somebody else is asking. Somebody else is asking. Yeah. Somebody's asking, how about exams? How do you do exams online, especially for like our public universities?
It's very simple, by the way. If your computer is locked to the system, it is locked to the system. You cannot be able to go anywhere. It's that browser that's open, is that link. It's possible we make it. If you click on start exam, first of all, it's timed 40 minutes. So the exam is timed for 40 minutes. You're supposed to be there for 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, it expires inajituma kwa mwalimu. So it's possible. We've done, personally, I've done exams online. When you open that system exam, it locks everything out.
Okay.
Even you cannot open any browser, ni hiyo computer na wewe na hiyo kitu. Unless simu imepotea, computer imezima, so you're out. That's the challenge. The only challenge is that.
Okay. What would you say are
it's possible done online?
What would you say are the advantages of e-learning, of how we've known education to be?
Sorry?
What would you say are the advantages of e-learning compared to the normal classroom setting that we have been used to?
Okay, let me just go back to primary school. I didn't like going to school. Namuka asubuhi kwenda shule. Juzi tulikuwa namuka tunakimbia. Asubuhi tunakimbia like around 10 kilometers kwenda shule.
Yes.
Kuna viatu. Imagine somebody anakuambia sasa sit at home. Learn. Umaamka asubuhi. That's the funny advantage of it.
And then the other advantage is, especially for the pre-recorded lessons, if you didn't understand a certain lesson, you can always go back to it for revision purposes. It's not like a class where ikiisha imeisha, you wait for the next class. So for this one, you can actually rewind and then rewatch the lessons. You're able even to ask the questions from the teacher. It's like there's not much different. It's not even an advantage over the other. It's just maintaining learning on all platforms across all divides, whether it's physically or online.
Okay. You know, when I think back to school, there are those students who are very quick learners. They're very fast. You know, they hear a concept once, they've gotten it, they move on to the next thing. And then there are those kids who are a bit slow. You need more time with them. Would you say then that an e-learning platform allows every student to learn at their pace? Wale wako masaa, wacha wakae masaa. Those who are a bit slow, they can still continue at their own pace.
Exactly. That's the advantage of what we brought. Wewe unakaa hapo, kama hujaelewa, you can always ask back. There's a teacher there to reply on any. By the way, una ask via text, ask back, mwalimu atakujibu anytime. Kama hujaelewa, rewind that clip, play it again and again. Ask more, because we have different teachers teaching the same thing. Ask more, because every teacher has got a different way of teaching. So ukiona huyu hajafundisha vizuri, go to the next teacher. Because there are several teachers there that are offering the same concept. So go to the several teachers, see how they brought that topic, understand how they brought it, and definitely you will be able to understand it through the slow learners.
Okay.
Mimi.
Listen to this comment from one of our listeners. They say, that's a great conversation. I think that e-learning has also provided a platform for the leadership skills of the children to be harnessed. Instead of the teacher running the show, they can have sessions where a child leads a class based on the research they have done, as the teacher watches and grades their presentation and will only come in later to debrief and comment on how things were done. I don't know what you think about that comment.
Exactly. That's a very good comment.
Agree, yeah.
Fully agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
fully agree with that, because actually,
let me see. It seems like there are some more questions. Yeah, people are still stuck on the exam. You know, we have a lot of, I think we have a lot of education we need to do, because we are so stuck in our old way of doing things. We are looking at this one and we are thinking, inakaa kama kalongolongo, hii si education serious. Somebody's asking, with exams online, si watu watakopi exams since hakuna invigiration, whatever that means.
Unaona nini? Exam systems, you know, I personally understand, maybe as I understand what the developers side, exam systems, if you open an exam system, actually, it will buy you out from opening any other thing. Your system will screen up when you come iko stuck. Unless that's what you do, atakopi kwa vitabu. Yes, we don't have option. So we do not have option. Maybe Google ataweza Google, but kuangalia kitabu, ataangalia kitabu. So, hakuna venye tunaweza avoid hapo. Hakuna utakopi. Because kuna vitabu utakopi. So, imagine uko nyumba peke yako na kwa system imekulock, huwezi enda anywhere. I will copy hata kama nitakopi.
Hata kwa klasi ya kawaida kuna wale wanakopi.
That's why it goes down to discipline and the parents involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the exam is being taken and the parent is supervised. Unless your parent pay anataka ukopi.
Yes. Yeah. Listen to this.
But you have multi-choice questions on the system that it automarks itself.
Okay.
So if they answer the question with the answers that are in the system, it will be hard for them to actually copy. Because again, it's timed.
Okay.
And the person from the other side can watch you and see what you're doing. If you copy, utaonekana.
Unaona, mimi naangiri na huyo mtamuuliza about copy. It's true. That's the part what a copy. Hiyo ina shida. Either ni exam gani ama gani, a smart guy will write down. Unaona, kunile karatasi mrefu huyo man. Unajua?
Yes.
Kwa mrefu kila kitu. Encyclopedia mzima.
One more comment before we finish, because we are out of time. This is one more comment. It says, hello, I'm a candidate using Zoom and I find it quite difficult. No way to catch up with what one missed, like recorded lessons and how to get everything. It's so much different on how to learn in class. I think developers have a chance to create applications that can provide features needed that are unavailable in the platforms that we are using like Zoom. So hiyo ni kazi kwako.
Yeah. Now that's what nakwambia.
Yeah.
Before I developed the thing, I studied Zoom.
Yes.
I started Teams. I started Google's Classroom and brought everything together.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's an advantage. There's something that we lack here. If I missed this topic, what am I going to get?
Yeah.
Let me get it later through the system management again.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that goes live, we record. You can get it later, you play, rewind. So it's simple. Just understand your people and do what they want.
Okay, great. What's your platform called?
Nifunze Academy.
Jifunze Academy.
Nifunze Online Academy.
Nifunze Academy.
Teach me, Nifunze.
Okay. Sawa. I'm out of time. Parting shot from each of you, and then we can call it a day.
My parting shot would be like, please embrace e-learning. This is the future of our kids. Technology is the future of everything. Just adopt it. It will take your children very far.
Okay.
And from my end, I would like to comment to the people offering online classes.
Uh-huh.
People offering online classes. Let's understand that this thing actually, it has come like bununasema kalongolongo. Bado tujaelewa. It has come
Mm-hmm.
So let's try to understand these people. As teachers, maybe tunaelewa vivid, but let's go to the pace. If somebody doesn't understand, I know some people are charging people a lot of money outside there to teach them on Zoom. Some people are charging a lot of money actually to teach them. And if you missed a class, kindly let this kid get what he paid for. If I missed a class, there must be a problem with my internet. You have to understand that. There might be I didn't have power at home.
Yeah.
You've got to understand that. Let me get what other people got. And also, I would like to appeal the parting shot to the people. We have got two categories of people here. There are people at home. When you kuchunga ng'ombe, mamuka asubuhi hujui anything. Au wameenda kulisha ng'ombe. Kuna watu wako kwa slums. Kuna watu wako kwa nini? Kuna shule actually, they go to schools. Kuna zile zinafunga actually online leo. Kuna zile hawajui hata kama inafaa tufunge.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to reach these people when they're not up to the game? Wanangoja government ifungue shule next year. Ndio waanze tena fresh. Wale wengine hawako juu, wamemaliza vitu zao, wamemaliza. So how are we going to reach these people? I think we've got a solution for that, to reach these people. Other people hawana any. You've got a solution. Let's come up. Donate what you have. If you have any other thing extra, donate to that person who doesn't have.
Okay.
It's now Kenyan for Kenyans.
Mm-hmm.
Let's assist each other. Donate. If you have a laptop that you're not using, give it to somebody who doesn't have. if you feel you can pay for internet, enda kwa cyber, lipia internet hata 1 hour ni 20 shillings. Lipia internet, ndio mtoto enda hapo usome, kuna hii software ndio hivi na hivi, enda usome hapo hivyo. Kuna mwalimu anatoa Zoom, enda ukasome hapo. Lipia cyber. Go to social halls. Peleka computers. Watu wasome.
Wow.
Let's catch up. Wote tuko same.
Okay.
Tuko at same level. Let's embrace technology.
Roy Sam and Grace, thank you. Thank you for being a part of Lifestyle Friday today. Thank you for what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, because that's the way to go.
Thank you for having us.
That's all the time I have for Lifestyle Friday today. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.